Hi. So I just got the Master Universe Origins / ThunderCats crossover figures. Excuse the noises, I have to have the window open. It's really hot in here. And I was toying around with them, and a lot of people think they're much taller than normal Origins figures. For the most part, they actually aren't. It just has a lot to do with how their legs look. Like here's Lion-O next to Champ, and sorry I don't have him standing up, but this is how my camera mount's working right now. He's not that much taller, and then we have a Cartoon Collection web store here, and actually web store is a bit taller. Now, on the other hand, Cheetara does appear to be taller than here's a Cartoon Collection Evelyn. She's notably taller. So, for the most part, I think they integrate into the collection fairly well, but I do think it might be an easy way to improve their look in the Origins line by swapping out their legs. The legs are the real big differentiating point from how normal Origins figures looks. So, for Cheetara, I have pulled out a Turtles of Grayskull April. It's not the same exact yellow. A normal toy Evelyn might be a better yellow match. I don't have one on hand, so we're using April right now. And then for Lion-O, I have pulled out a King Randor. Once again, it's not a perfect match, but it's a very similar orange. And we're going to try swapping out these legs and see how that works. So the handy thing is I will put the April and King Randor lower halves in a mug of hot water. Pull the hips off the side here. But the nice thing about ThunderCats figures, you don't have them, is you can just pop their legs off. So this feature was introduced with the Too Bad from last year's Comic-Con. And apparently some of the more recent Superstar figures have this. And I'd like if all the figures had this going forward, because what a great feature. It makes customizing so much easier. So while I'm at it, while those heat up, something to note. Cheetara has an interesting new torso mold, but you really can't use normal Origin arms in there. The shoulders are just a slightly bit bigger. They'll plug in, but they won't go all the way in. So her arms are sort of locked to this torso. We can use her arms in their torsos. They're a bit smaller, but you can't put really other arms in this torso, unfortunately. So I don't really know if this hip joint thing will work, but we're going to find out. They've probably been soaking long enough. Pull out the April legs. Grab a paper towel. And then we'll just pop them off. Like that. And now we'll see if they pop on here very well. There we go. There we go. Okay, they pop in, no problem. They fit. They're a little bit snug, but they still move just fine. We're going for pure ease of customization here. So no sanding or painting. And then we will swap out the boots. Now, I did check this, and seemingly the boots don't fit 100%. They kind of bump against the bottom of the leg, but they fit. They look fine. So she'll be a bit taller than she could be possibly if they fit perfectly. So I'm wondering if there'd be potential for swapping out the lower legs. I don't think it's going to work because I tried to swap a normal Origins upper leg piece into a Cartoon Collection lower leg piece once. They didn't fit, so I'm betting the knee joints aren't the same. So there is the Cheetara with the April legs. Let's see how much. And as we can see with Evelyn there, she's still taller, but she's not as tall as she could be. There's an extra height difference right there. So if you think she's too tall, this is a easy go-to quick swap out. If the lower legs did work, it'd actually make her notably shorter, because oddly her lower legs are shorter than the April lower legs. I think the boots are designed to make up for that. But they're about the same height. But yeah, that works well there. We will now pull out the Randor lower legs, swap them over. See how that works. Now automatically, you're not going to have the extra blue paint that Lion-O has around his hips, which is not going to be perfect, but we're doing for pure ease of customization here. And this is probably all blurry, isn't it? There we go. Hopefully it wasn't blurry the entire time. Let's pop these on. See if this works. Oh, that's snapping nice. There we go. His arms seem a bit too long with these, but for the most part, that ain't bad. That's not that much of a mishmash as far as colors go. Let's check with Champ here. How does he compare? About this. Actually, he's a little bit shorter. but that works. So, the big thing is the boots. Now, if you want to put him with his armor on, he comes in the Eternia style armor. These will work. These boots work just fine. The problem with this is, let's try swap the boots over here. That ain't going to work. You see. I mean, you can fake it. You could theoretically stand him up that way. It just, that ain't working. And it also makes him notably taller again. So, what do we do in this situation? Well, originally I was thinking Keldor boots until I pulled out my Cartoon Collection web store. Then I looked at these boots. Look at that. So if you're going to do some painting, you need an extra Cartoon Collection web store, who's pretty common as far as I'm aware. Painting these blue and painting this white, this will fit on here perfectly. And that will help the visual of how these figures look if you don't like how they mesh in your Origins collection. So, you could just be done at this point. Just some basic pop and swaps. And there you go. And once again, sorry this whole thing's all wobbly. I don't have a great setup, but I hope I gave you some good ideas for what you could do. Thanks for watching. Bye.